Hi guys, it's Shannon. I just wanted to jump on and get a message out to all of you today. So, the message that has been coming in and that I just heard so clearly that they are wanting you to know is that they're asking for active players in this game. So, active players in the game of life. And the reason that the angels and our guides and the universe and the spiritual realm, the divine, is asking for this is because there is work and information and downloads that they are sending through each and every one of us to put into action here. So we know, as a huge reminder, that we are the link between the spiritual realm and the physical world. We are the ground crew, okay? And they're asking for us to come back online. They're asking for us to be active in creating the action that is needed here in the physical world, okay? I also want to tell you and remind you that tapping into your internal guidance is one of the most important things you can do. I am personally just coming out of 3 weeks of deep healing, waves of grief coming through me, and needing a lot more rest and integration of the energy of ascension that is coming in, all the light codes that are hitting my body, my field at this time. I needed that time to honor my processes, okay? And I would not have been aware of that if I was not tapped in to my own internal guidance, to the mindfulness and the awareness that what I needed was to honor myself, to get more rest, and to allow these deep healing processes to happen. Okay? So it is so important to tap into your internal guidance. That is one of the most important things I do with my clients, is getting them to be able to access internal guidance. Because here's the thing, if we just keep going, if we just keep staying in our discipline and in our structure and in our to-dos and in our busy, we never get quiet and silent enough and still enough to know what is really coming up for us to be revealed, possibly to be healed, deeper truth, higher perspective, all of that stuff that is coming through us, that is being revealed to us. But if we are so busy or so distracted or so numbed from whatever it might be, we're gonna miss it, okay? So that message of honoring your process and honoring where you are at in this moment. What do you need right now? Are you in a place where it's time to hide away a little bit and do your inner work and be alone? Or are you in a place where it is time to get out in the world and take the action and the steps that the spiritual realm, your guides, the angels, the divine, is sending through you? Okay? Because it's not all of it all the time. It's this ebb and flow. Okay, and for me personally, January has always been a month of deep healing, a month when layers of things that are inside of me, that have been buried inside of me, come up to reveal themselves and offer a deeper truth and a higher perspective and a deeper way of going within and allowing another layer to be healed. And the ripple effect of that is that there is an openness that occurs within my field, within my heart, and it leads to opening up to life and to opportunities So I always know that the ripple effect of going deeper when this stuff presents itself is a huge opening in my life. Okay? So being active in the game of life does not mean being busy. I want to be very clear on that. Being active means tuning into what you are to do at this time. What is yours to do at this time? Because it's not always loud and it's not always noisy and it's not always out in the world. Okay, there are times when we need to hide away and tend to what we need to tend to. Okay, are you minding and tending to your vibration, whatever it might be at this time? Because again, the deeper you go into this work, the higher you will fly when it is time to fly. Do you see Sadie behind me? I have a colored picture of a dog that looks so much like Sadie that is up on my wall. And as we know, since her passing, she has been such a powerful guide for this work. So to have her over my left shoulder right behind me is no mistake. The other thing that I want to say is allowing yourself to open up and expand to the fullness, to the allness of who you are, to your fullest expression. I was out hiking yesterday and I was thinking, reflecting back on sometimes the teeter-totter that my life has been, where it's been all of being out in the world and traveling and moving and teaching and all of that and not having a home base, or it's been creating a home base and this comfort bubble around me that for a while feels so comfortable until it doesn't, until it starts feeling like it's keeping me stuck and playing small and restricted. Anytime I have been in anything, including relationships, that make me feel restricted or that place me in a box, that does not work for me. Okay? And so when we have this awareness, when we understand this, we can navigate into what is the harmony then of bringing all of those worlds into one way of living, into one way of being. What is the harmony of that, right? And that is something that I am navigating because I want it all and I deserve it all. And it is up to me to create a life that has all of it, right? It's not up to anybody else. It's not up to anybody coming in and saving any of this. It is up to each and every one of us to create the life that we truly desire to live and to be an active participant in this game of life, because I know for sure the world is calling each and every one of us. I feel it. And now that I'm coming out of the time where I needed to hide away, where I needed to go deep into my healing, where I needed to go deep into the waves of grief and feel it, feel all of it, rather than only going a little bit of the way in. Because if we only go a little bit of the way, what I know for sure is that stuff comes back out. There is more that is there that will reveal itself at a later date. So the deeper that you can go into these processes, the more will be released, the more will be healed, the more will be felt, and you will come out the other side being okay, maybe needing a little bit of rest, but also allowing a huge opening to be created, because that energy is no longer the heaviness, the stuckness, or a block within your physical body or your energetic field. Okay? That's why this work is so, so, so important. So in the last 2 days, as I felt the world calling me again, Shannon, we need you back on the line. We need you out there again. We need you teaching. We need you out in the world. We need you in front of people, all of those things, right? As I'm feeling that, I'm not like jumping in a car tomorrow and going, right? But I'm navigating, okay, what does that look like then? What does that look like? How am I going to set that up? What does that mean for me in this next year, right? And honoring that calling. There is no longer a time to deny any of this, especially the calling, okay? So for those of you that are hearing that today and needed to hear that, honor the calling. That's a huge message, huge, okay? The other thing is that as I was coming out of this and I was in a pattern of needing more sleep and needing more rest and certain nutrition that was heavier, I had a much heavier energy in me and on my physical body, right? I still was doing that the last couple of days, except for I realized when I woke up this morning, that no longer feels right. I no longer need 10 hours of sleep. I need like 4 or 5 or maybe 6, maybe at the most 6, right? And so can we tune in and then make the appropriate adjustments, right? Make the appropriate action steps that align with the now, because I'm coming out of that phase, right? And I'm entering a new phase. So what does that now look like? And do you see how in this time of a lot of shifting, we have to constantly be reassessing things so that we stay in alignment? Yes? Yeah, and so it's a day-by-day assessment, and the only way you can do that is if you are being aware, if you are paying attention, if you're understanding, okay, I went to bed last night at a certain time and I wasn't quite ready to sleep, or I was still stirring because I didn't get enough physical movement during the day, or I didn't write enough, or whatever it is. If you are stirring, pay attention to what that stir is telling you. Every time I start to stir, I start leaning in. What is that? Why am I stirring? What's going on? And I start asking questions, because when I start stirring, something's happening. There's either something coming in that I need to pay attention to. There's something that I need more of, like more physical movement. But when you start to stir, the energy of stirring, the energy of going to bed and having a stir within you, you've got to pay attention to that and start asking questions about what is that, okay? Because it could be something that you need more of. It could be your calling. It could be something that you're ignoring or not honoring. It could be something rising within you. There's so many things that it can be, but when I start stirring, anytime in my life when I start stirring, I know something is shifting, or that I need to shift something, some pattern that is no longer working for me. Got it? So we have to pay attention to the stir. Okay. I think that's all I have. I'm going to be doing some more writing on the fullest expression of you and how you can integrate all these parts of yourself and live in harmony to the fullest, because you get it all, right? Each and every one of us get it all if we're willing to step fully in to this life and fully in to what's being asked of us and fully into doing the work that we are here to do and tending to what we need to tend to. And sometimes, as I've been saying, that is our own inner healing work. That is our own inner work. That is a renegotiation within our relationships that might not be working for us or may no longer be in alignment, okay? And the thing that I want to say real quick about relationships is it is not black and white, okay? If you're still in the 3D where it's like, we're friends or we're boyfriend and girlfriend, okay? There is this whole area that some people want to call the gray area, and I'm going to call it the area of color, because I believe it's an area of color, not an area of grayness, okay? So if you want to put labels on, we are friends, or no, we are boyfriend and girlfriend, that is a very old paradigm way of being in relationship. There is a colorful way of honoring two souls coming together and forming a union, whether that's business or intimate relationship or friendship or soul contract or whatever that is, honoring that in a way that works for both parties involved. Because like I said, anytime someone has slapped a label on me, claimed territory over me, yes, that's happened a few times, or tried to put me in a box, that does not work for me. And I will no longer allow that in my life, because that's when I start restricting, not because of them. It's because within me, I start restricting things. I start playing small in all areas of my life, and no longer can that be allowed here, right? And so it is about opening up to the fullness and allowing other people in your life to open up to their fullness, and then asking, okay, so now how do we navigate this in a way that allows us both to be in our full capacity of light, honoring our calling, honoring the work that we are here to do, and allowing it to be full of color instead of placing any sort of restriction on it, okay? And I don't have the 5 steps to get there right now, but I do know it's a navigation that requires 2 parties showing up and navigating a way to a dynamic and a way of being that allows full expansion of the spirit and of the soul. And I know that's possible. And I know that so many of us are navigating our way there in all of our relationships, because putting anything in something restrictive right now is the exact opposite of what we're being called to do. Full expansion, full expression, the allness, the harmony of every single way of being that you want to integrate into your world, and allowing yourself to live the life that is calling you. Because I know for sure the world right now is calling each and every one of us to step it up. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Namaste.